So, Wolfgang, tell the audience what we are doing.
Today we'll be doing a simple thing of tier listing Skylanders today.
Yes, but not just ordinary Skylanders. We are doing the reposes from Giants. Let me just share my screen for you. So here are all the Series 2 reposes. I don't know if we're going to agree on every one of these Wow Pals, but this is how it is going to be right here. It's just normal ranking. So, let's start off with, of course, Spyro. So his Wow Pal is known as Fire Slam. What are we thinking about it, Wolfgang?
I think it's a pretty good one.
I really like it. 80 damage is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's really good. So I'm gonna put Series 2 Spyro in A tier. Next up, Series 2 Gil Grunt. Wow Pal is Anchors Away, even though there's a repose called Anchors Away Gil Grunt, which I don't know why they didn't give him the Wow Pal Anchors Away.
I do still remember having the Wow Pal version of him look golden. And if I'm correct, I do still have it till this day.
Okay, so again, the wide coverage of Gil Grunt's giant anchors is a bit of a bitch for you to hold, but it's still worth everything else. I actually don't know what I'm saying, really. All I'm saying is, it's a good Wow Pal, but it's not that very powerful. Again, I like it, but it's not that great. It's good, but it's not great. Let's put it in B tier. Series 2 Trigger Happy has like one of the most less damage Wow Pals.
Well, yeah, but then that kind of, gets, what's the word? Like, what I'm trying to talk about is that the fact that, yeah, sure, it doesn't do much damage, but his fire rate is very, and I mean very fast.
Oh, yeah.
That's what most of the time when it comes to certain miniguns in games.
Yeah.
They have to do as much damage, but it has to be. But then it gets a little bit of a buff when it comes to a fast fire rate.
Yeah. In all the okay, so for Series 2 Trigger Happy, I don't know what's going on here. What the fuck? Okay, so Series 2 Trigger Happy's Wow Pal is going in C tier. That's just me. Series 2 Cinder. People say that she has, that she's very underrated. And I can kind of see why that her, Wow Pal isn't, everybody's fan favorite. Although I do like it, though. Series 2 Cinder's Wow Pal is pretty cool. Where do we want to put this, though?
Probably B.
B tier? Yeah, I would agree. B tier. Series 2 Stealth Elf. Her Wow Pal is known as Knife Blender, where you hold down the main attack button that you use for her daggers.
Yeah, if I'm correct, doesn't she spin around and all that?
Yeah, in a 360 degree.
Yeah, I remember doing that a lot when it came to playing a Stealth Elf with that, and I loved it so fucking much.
It's a pretty cool Wow Pal.
I literally just kept going at groups of people and just did the 360 and just boom, kill everyone.
Yeah.
Kill everyone in seconds.
Alright, for Series 2 Stealth Elf, we'll put her in A tier. Next up is Series 2 Eruptor. His Wow Pal is known as Lava Barf. Again, it's not one of the best WoW Pows, though.
Yeah, it's not the best. I like it because it's just kind of funny to me.
It is funny,
Yeah.
but it's not powerful, so it is going in C tier. Terrafin is up next.
Burns that burns people.
Series 2 Terrafin's WoW POW is known as Dive Burrow, where when you're in the ground and then you come out of the ground, you can go back in the ground again. That does like 3 times, actually. I think it does like, what, 30-something damage?
Pretty good damage.
It's alright, but it's not as powerful as these two right here. So no. Series 2 Terrafin fell off pretty far. His WoW POW is just not that very good to me. Another one that's not very good to me is Series 2 Whirlwind. Where her WoW POW is known as Cloud Bursting, where her clouds just automatically shoot rainbows. What are you thinking of this?
I can't really say much because I never played Whirlwind.
A lot of us rarely play as Whirlwind. Easily another one I don't like. Next up is actually one of my favorites, Series 2 Sonic Boom. Now, her WoW POW is known as Super Baby. Super Baby does like, what, 60 damage?
That's pretty massive.
Yeah. I mostly really like Series 2 Sonic Boom a lot. I think she's one of my personal favorite reposes of Giants. But she isn't... She's not as powerful as like these... You know what? A tier. Okay, next up is Series 2 Zook. With his WoW POW known as Target Lock.
Okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like that one because every time when I try to fucking aim when it comes to all these only ranged characters, it was not really that good.
Yeah, it mostly puts you in a very vulnerable spot also, but you have to really hide very closely.
Well, that was the only good thing I was glad of, and that was the only thing I was really good at when it came to being on low health. I was able to hide from the enemies by them.
Yeah, so it's a useful WoW POW, but it's not as great. So, Zook will go to B tier. Chop Chop's up next. I really like the WoW POW Shield Skewer. I think it's a really cool WoW POW.
I do too. I actually enjoyed that the most out of a lot of these.
I don't know if I enjoy it more than Twin Blade Chop Chop's WoW POW, but I really like Series 2 Chop Chop's WoW POW. It makes you like go, it makes you dash a little bit further in like various different levels you can go through. It's really good.
Sometimes I think that Chop Chops is like probably the best one out of all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, so you know what? Chop Chop is actually going to be our first S tier. Chop Chop. If I could put him up there, damn it. Hold up. I got this. There we go. Chop Chop, S tier. Now, people say that Series 2 Prison Break is one of the best reposes. With his WoW POW known as Pulse Power. I can see that he is one of the best ones in this game. in Giants, I believe. Pulse power is where you, if you're on Xbox, you hold down A and then you press X to make the pulse. What are we thinking of Prison Break here?
Probably A.
A tier. Okay. Then we'll put Prison Break in A. Series 2 Flameslinger is the Speed Demon. Now, it doesn't have that very much damage, and it just makes like a bigger flame trail of him just dashing. So it's not that good, really. Again, a non-good WoW pal that just doesn't do that much damage. It isn't that very powerful. Series 2 Slam Bams, on the other hand, called Slay Me, where he just rides a frickin' sleigh. It does like 35 damage or so. I don't know, I kinda like it, really. What do you think?
Probably B at best.
B at best?
Enjoyed it, but yeah, enjoyed it, but not really much.
Yeah, I agree. Wrecking Ball is up next. With his WoW POW called Disco Ball, where it will actually deflect any other enemies' like attacks, and just doesn't give you damage when you actually activate Disco Ball. It's not one of my personal favorites. I'm not a big fan of Wrecking Ball, though.
Same thing.
Yeah, but as long as Wrecking Ball's like WoW POW deflects other enemies' attacks, it's actually very useful, but it's not very good. So his goes in C tier. Drill Sergeants is the worst out of them all. Future Cannon does such less damage. Especially when you're on the wrong path, it literally just does less damage. And I absolutely freaking hate Drill Sergeant's WoW POW. It is bad. Stump Smashes is Auto Nuts, where, as many suggest, he spits out nuts rapidly.
That's so fucking weird in this generation.
Honestly, it's useful. It's not as good, but it's good, but it's not as great.
I remember moments where that was useful when I was low on health and an enemy were about to beat me, but then the auto nuts just came in and then boom.
Yeah. Okay, Stump Smash goes B tier. Series 2 Hex has the WoW POW that does the most damage. 200 damage with the Skull Buddy WoW POW. You just have to charge up and press any button to make the Skull Buddy, and it'll do 200 damage by spinning skulls out. Obviously, Series 2 Hex's WoW POW is going in S tier if it does that much damage. Double Trouble. One of my personal favorite goofy guys. WoW POW is known as Triple Trouble, where the beam goes directly towards an enemy to another, etc., etc. Honestly, it's pretty useful when it comes to like a multiple amount of enemies that are coming right towards you, etc. Honestly, it's pretty useful when it comes to like a multiple amount of enemies that are coming right towards you, and then you just do multiple damage to him. What are you thinking?
Yeah. thought the same thing on you.
Alright, so B tier it will be. Series 2 Lightning Rod has basically a WoW power that almost is like a Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z. It does like 14 damage, which is not that good. But it is kind of useful to actually like stun enemies for a little bit when it comes to like shocking them. So it'll just go C tier. Yeah. Series 2 Igniter being the last... What were you saying?
I was saying that the fucking god guy is mainly useful when playing 2-player.
Oh yeah. Series 2 Igniter being the last Series 2 repose of Giants that I actually got this year. Has some fun with his WoW pal known as the Blue Flame. It's not as what I was expecting it, but it is kind of useful when you want to just damage and make a giant blue flame trail.
Which is mostly me at most times.
Yeah. C tier. Series 2 Bash is one of my other personal favorites. I'm a sucker for Dragon Skylanders, and Bash is really cool. His WoW power is known as Rolling Thunder, where on Xbox, where you roll, you press X and then you press B. It'll activate Rolling Thunder, where he jumps in the air, then hits a stone fist and releases a rock. That does like what, 8? That does 60 damage, I'm thinking? I think it's pretty good. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I put Bash in S tier.
Yeah.
Series 2 Zap. WoW power known as Riley, which does 30 odd damage. Now the animation to his WoW power is pretty cool. But and also, why the WoW power is also called for Riley is because of like this kid that actually passed away at the age of 4 during like he had like a disease, and his favorite Skylander was Zap. So Skylanders had to like make a WoW pow of this guy that is called for Riley. Yeah, it's pretty sad though to hear that a kid
I think just for all that, I think you should have seen A tier at least.
Yeah, you know what? I like Zap though. I like him too. A tier is a good one. Series 2.
I don't think so much.
Yeah. Zap is a very fun character though.
Yeah, I never really got to play him. I never got to really play him as much, but knowing the fact that apparently they named a special power based on the person that loved Zap, I feel like he deserves a little bit more
yeah.
popularity.
And now we are on the last repose, and the last repose that was ever released for Giants, Series 2 Drobot. WoW power known as Supreme Blade Gear, where you hold down the button that you use to shoot out blade gears from your wings, and then you can just like move the blade gear around. It does leave you very vulnerable though. That is the problem.
But like for me, when I use that, I'd always be behind a wall.
Yeah. So, it's a useful WoW pal, but it's not great, though. So, Drobot will go with Trigger Happy, Eruptor, Wrecking Ball, Igniter, and Lightning Rod. And there you have it right here, the Skylanders Giants repose tier list. Honestly, this is just our opinion.